Yo, guys! Haven't seen you in a while. Well, I've seen Arkid in a while. How are you guys doing? Let me switch over to the welcome screen. All right, guys. Welcome everyone. Today we're going to be racing in the Formula One Racing League, a league that I've been streaming for a long time for already. But I'm racing here in Tier One as a reserve tonight. That is great. That is great, Arkid. Hope you're going to be doing great. Joby and Oranje Boma are racing in Div 2, if I'm not mistaken. So this is going to be a Div 2 for tonight. I've been streaming for a long time already for these guys. Just not very usual. You know, it's usually like 1 week yes and then 3 weeks no or something like that due to circumstances. But today I'm here. Last week I was here too, so that's great. What's that called? Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. All right, so today we are not going to be having Imola. We had that last week, but Hammer got that P1 last week. Brad races in P2, and SheepyCav was surprising P3 after a very interesting strategy there. Today we're going to be having Bahrain, as you might have saw. Oh, did I do Imola? I think I did Imola, didn't I? Let me have a quick look here. Can I still change that? YouTube control panel. I should be able to on my phone. I think I've done Imola, didn't I? Oh no, I did Bahrain. All right, doesn't really matter. So Bahrain is a population of 1.4 million people. The first Grand Prix ever held was in 2004, which has been quite a long time already. Consistency is the word I think you're looking for. That is correct, Chicken. Thank you very much. Consistency. I'm not very consistent for these guys. But I'm trying to be. Thursdays is usually a very difficult day for me to be there consistently, and yeah, you know, that's the thing. That's the problem. But I promised Sean that I was going to be here more. He also had troubles with other factors, which made me not being able to stream here. So today we're going to be here, and it is going to be a very competitive qualifying lap. Well, the record here in Bahrain, which is a 127.9 set by PGR, the Legacy tier, which was my first race of the season, actually. Well, first race of the new game after I came back from holidays. And then the fastest race lap is a 130.3, also set by PGR, as this is the only race I've ever done on Bahrain. So today it's going to be a short qualifying, a 50% race, for 5.4 kilometers race distance, track distance, and then you've got 156 kilometers race distance. So start finish straight is always a little bit chaos into turn 1, because you might see a couple of guys go wide, cut the corner in turn 2, or go a little bit wide into turn 3, and it's always chaos. Down the main straight you will have the DRS here, coming in out of sector 2. I think that is turn 11. Fast left-hander, and then you've got a little bit of a swirl down the right, long right-hander, turn 12. That is, you need a lot of grip there to be able to make it work, because otherwise you're just going to spin out. Make sure you don't have overheated tires through that corner, and you will be all great. Then you've got another straight, and then you will be heading into the last straight of that track, which is, of course, the long main straight before turn 1. And now these guys are all going to be very competitive with each other, as you can see right now, into turn 4. It's going to be hard to make a move in sector 2, in my opinion, because, you know, you've got those S's here, as you can see. It's very hard to make a move through there. Maybe turn 8 will be a possibility. Hard braking zone to the right. Turn 9 and 10 will be a hard challenge for the guys to make a move in. So I don't think that will happen through there. Now let's have a quick look with the strategy here tonight. Hard, mediums, mediums, hards, medium, medium, softs, or soft, medium. Medium is the proposed strategy. It's going to be a high safety car probability. My apologies, guys. Tire degradation rate is quite high, around 45%, and then also the tire overheating probability is around 40%. So it's going to be troubles. I don't think starting on the softs is a great idea. Soft, medium, mediums is only to cover an early safety car, of course, and then medium, medium, softs is to cover a late safety car, possibly 2 safety cars, but of course you would like to go maybe start on the hards to cover a late safety car, and then you can switch over to the softs and stretch those hards at the beginning, or cover an early safety car by going on to the mediums and then switch over to the hards to end the race. So that is something to look forward to for these guys. I'm just going to have a quick look with the grid here tonight, as we've got a full grid, of course. Let me have a quick look. Bad Races is currently on pole, so I'm going to put him in P1 in the race. He was pretty impressive last week. I'm going to put Thatcher's. Where's Thatcher's? Thatcher's in P2, and I'm gonna put Sheepy Kev in P3. My biggest winner of the evening is gonna be Tina Stick. Tenastic is what I should call him, but I'm calling him Tina Stick here. And then, of course, the biggest loser, I think I'm gonna put Matko. He hasn't been on a great streak lately. He's currently in P2 though, or no, he's in P6 in the Drivers' Championship, but I don't think he will be able to keep that position tonight. So let's have a quick look in a game right now, as it doesn't look like the game is popping up right now. So I need to do some things before we can get that shown. And there we go, and that should be the standings for you guys right now. So hopefully you will be able to see everything here. I hope you guys are able to hear everything. And it doesn't look like you guys are able to hear the game, so I'm just gonna get that fixed real quick. My apologies. PlayStation sound. This should be the one. Alright, there we go. So you should be able to hear everything right now. Just let me know, give me a shout if it isn't. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this race. Bahrain, usually a very good racing track, and a lot of guys are going to be very competitive here. It's also a track where there's a lot of room for improvement, but a lot of guys are usually within a tenth or two of each other, and that DRS is really gonna pull each other along with each other, you know, like here coming out of turn 15 and 16, I think that is, you will, even if you're 6 or 7 tenths behind, you're gonna be pulled along with the guy ahead with the use of DRS and ERS, because it's such a long straight, and then you will be within 2 or 3 tenths coming into turn 1, maybe even be able to make a move. And then you've got another DRS section here coming out of turn 3. As we are seeing Joby now go a little bit wide to make room for the Williams driver. I think that was Tomo, if I'm not mistaken. Yo, Sean, how are you doing, buddy? How are you doing, buddy? So currently on board with Tomo, the Williams driver, a 130.9 in his previous lap, which is not insanely amazing. As we might want to have a quick look how his second sector is going right now. And we will only be able to see after that long right-hander. It doesn't look like he's going very, you know, how do I say that? Yeah, no idea. It's that day where I'm not finding my words tonight. Tomo coming into turn 10 right now, long left-hander, and you've got that long right-hander right now. Into sector 3, not bad working tonight, so missing the race unfortunately. Oh, that's super unfortunate, buddy. Why are I thought you weren't working on Thursdays. That's why you had the league on Thursdays. But it's probably an extra day where the boss told you, oh, Sean, come to work. Oh, wait, hold up. Oh, wait. I'm gonna mention that later. Tomo right now coming across the line to put a 130.8, 45,000 of an improvement. And the Sheepshagger has put himself in P2. Sheepshagger. A 129.9 for the Sheepshagger. It's not a bad result in my opinion. Vindog is on another lap as we're seeing an AlphaTauri currently in sector 1 coming out of turn 4 if I'm not mistaken. Now let's have a quick look what Vindog is doing right now, and he's backing out of his lap, so we might want to go to someone else here. Apex Joe, the Alfa Romeo driver, entering sector 3 in a couple of seconds through this a little swirly corner section, as you know, into this section, right? If you've got overheated tires, you're gonna be spinning out, I'm telling you. Like if you had a little bit of a snap coming into turn 10, forget it in turn 12, you know? And I always work nights, unfortunately. I miss 1 in every 4 races. Ah, that's unfortunate, Sean. I didn't know. What do you do again, working wise? Aren't you the sander kind of guy? The sanding? Isn't that? I think so. Chef Badger currently 3 tenths up on his time. As it isn't a bad lap. He's got that Aston Martin right in front of him. So he needs to watch out. Because he was being a bit weird there. I'm just gonna Google a word, guys, because I'm actually quite annoyed that I didn't know the word. Confident. Confidently. Confident. That was the word I was looking for. It's such an easy word, and yet I forget it. Benzilla is probably a new guy. I haven't seen him around quite often. As it seems like he's pretty fast, in my opinion. Look how he's going through that fast, well, that slow left-hander there. Well, in his case, it was a fast left-hander, because oh my days, he went through there very fast. I make Fizzy Pop. I work for Pepsi. Who was the sander again? There was a Sander guy. I don't know who it was. Oh, I do remember who it was. Yeah, never mind. I make fizzy pop. I have no idea what a fizzy pop is. That makes me remind of like this little ice cream thing you buy at the candy store or something like that. Alright, so Benzilla now coming around turn 15 and 16. Yo, Jonas. Hey, that was a good joke, right? Yo, Jonas. Benzilla puts himself in P3. Not a bad result at all. Although he's 4 tenths behind Brad Races. So I think Brad Races has put some practice into this track. Because look at his time difference between himself and the Sheepshagger. Currently in P2 of 129.9. Benzilla has raced a few races. He's a reserve, but he's a quick guy. Pepsi Max, soft drinks, haha. But what is a fizzy pop? Is that like the Pepsi Max then? Or I don't know, is that slang within Pepsi? Pepsi slang. They should make a book with the Pepsi slang, you know? Oranje Boombrauw, we might want to have a quick look at his time here, as he's good friends with Joby Rennie and Arkid. Well, Joby Rennie currently racing here in Div 2. And then we've got, of course, Arkid racing in Div 1, who's a little bit too fast for these guys here in Div 2. But he's a great guy. He's a fast guy. I know he's just bought a new rig. I'm talking about Arkid here. But Oranje Boomblauw, definitely not someone to underestimate. It's a fizzy drink like Coke, Pepsi or Fanta, etc. Oh, I didn't know that. I don't think we have that in Belgium. Do you know that, Sean? If we have that in Belgium? I don't think so. You should be able to, well, to tell me if we do have it or that we don't. Oranje Boom, now coming around the last couple of corners here in Sector 3. What British people call it. Fair enough. Oh, he's got a little bit of slipstream there, but he doesn't take it from the Mercedes driver. Now coming around turn 15 and 16. As that beautiful Ferrari color scheme is still in the car. Is he coming into the pits? Doesn't look like it. Straight down the line with a 133.0 to put himself in P18. That last right now, although Tofi hasn't put a lap in, neither did Andy, as he's currently struggling in his outlap. Surely you have Pepsi or Coke in Belgium. Oh yeah, no, we do, but yeah, never mind. I had no idea what a fizzy pop was. Apparently it's just Coke. No, fizzy pop is just general for any fizzy drink. That's what I meant. Oh, fair enough. I thought it was a specific drink, like a fizzy pop, you know, like a what else do you have? A Fanta, you know, that is a Fanta. And then you've got a fizzy pop, which is a fizzy pop. But apparently a Fanta is a fizzy pop, and a fizzy pop is a Fanta. But a fizzy pop can also be a Coke, or a fizzy pop can also be Pepsi Max, you know. Makes sense to me now. Well, I can all explain to you what a compressor is, but you'll probably don't get it from in the first time either. So, Thatchers, P17 only. I thought he was going to be my P2, but I kind of... Oh, Thatchers, that's Thatchers. I kind of mistaken him from someone else. I thought Widget. Because he's usually in the Mercedes. Thatchers. I'm sorry, buddy, but I'm not going to put you in P2. Well, you know what? I'm gonna put him in P2. Fuck this. Even if my prediction is bad, I'm just gonna put him in P2 just to give him a good feeling. Come on, Tetris, you can do it. You are at least out qualifying someone. 3 people actually. Oranje Boom, Tofi, and Andy. Andy is still in the night lap though. Let's have a quick look, as he's the only one to still put a qualifying lap on the board. Let's go on board with his POV here. He's sliding through that last corner. What is he doing? That was an interesting way on how to take that corner. Now down the main straight he comes. Interesting driving here. Sean, you're probably watching. Have a quick eye on that guy. Bo Red Bulls put himself into top 5 though. Not a bad result at all. P4 and P5 for Bo de Jongi and Tina Stick right now. So we've got Hammer, the winner of last week. In P6, he had an absolute tremendous race in Imola, if I'm not mistaken, last week. And we've got Vindog, currently in P9, not a bad result at all, but his teammate Oranje Boombrauw only in P18, so they're not going to be scoring a lot of points for the Ferrari team if this would be the final standings. And neither is the Williams team. We've got a good representation by the Alpine team here, currently in P1 and P7. If I'm not mistaken, the Alpine team is currently in the top 3. But the winners of this Constructors up until today is Aston Martin. They're currently in P6 and P19 in this qualifying. Hammer, who's only put himself in P6, and Tofi, who hasn't been able to do a qualifying lap. Not too sure if he's got a qualifying ban. I would think so. Chef Badger currently in P14. His teammate Apex Joe in P16. As a lot of guys are currently on a night lap, so you might want to go on board with a couple of guys. Thatchers is probably on a fast lap here, entering Sector 2 in a sec, as he's coming around this little S section right now. Doesn't take too much curb down the inside, as he's going a little bit off throttle there. And takes a little bit of a weird line coming into turn 6, but nothing to be blamed for. Into turn 9 and 10 right now. That was actually turn 8, not turn 6. As he does take this beautifully. Goes a little bit slower, as he has a little bit of a slip coming through a turn 10, if I'm not mistaken. Turn 9, actually. Oh my days. I'm messing up the corner names right now. The corner numbers. Entering turn 10. Takes a lot of curb down the inside. Beautifully done by the Mercedes driver right now. And I'm not too sure if he's up on his time. Entering this along right-hander right now. Make sure you don't slip out. And not up in this time. He's 9/10 slower, as he might have felt the pressure from the commentator on his shoulders right now. Apex Joe not up in this time either. Foxy might be up in this time. He's got the McLaren driver right in front of him, so he needs to be careful there, as he's now entering this fast left-right-hander. And as I said, you know, being on the soft tires, I don't think it could bother you too much, but being on the mediums or the hards, going through that fast right-hander, you really need to watch out. Foxy currently up by a 9/10 on his previous lap. That will possibly put him in a P12, but I'm pretty sure he can improve a little bit more here in Sector 3. Through this fast right-hander, takes a lot of curb down the inside. Might have been a little mistake there, so you don't want to clip too much of that curb, because you're going to be losing speed. And he's up by a second, which will put him in P11, but not a great result in my opinion. It could definitely have been better. Joby currently on the lap, as he's got his teammate right in front of him. He might have been able to clip a little bit of slipstream there from his teammate, and he is indeed. He's gonna clip some slipstream. He's not taking it. He's not taking the slipstream. What is Joby doing? He should have been way right behind him, and now he's just getting... I know what his teammate was trying to do there. Andy, good try, buddy, but Joby just didn't take it. 3/10 up on his time though, but it's not an improvement in time in positions there. So you might want to go on board with someone else on track right now. Benzilla is going to start this lap. I'm taking home last place tonight. Lol. Terry, no problem, buddy. Who are you on track, if you don't mind me asking? What's your in-game name? Oh, and I know Kyle Bradbury from AER, if I'm not mistaken. Tina Steak has put himself in P2. Only a couple of... 2 thousandths away from Brad Race's time. What a time there from Tina Steak, but it's not going to be a secured pole position for him. And that is still Brad Races in P1, and I'm not too sure if he's going to be able to improve here. Brad Races puts himself on pole. Puts a little bit of pressure on the other guys here with his 129.5. But Benzilla, would he be up on his time? That's a good question. Entering turn 8 right now. Slow left-hander, takes it beautifully. A little bit of curb on the exit to kind of sort out his rotation there. Tofi is going to be in P19. Okay, Terry, thank you very much for letting me know. I will keep an eye on you during the race. Benzilla gets some beautiful rotation in his car during that clip of the curb. Not up in his time, 1/10 slower than his previous time, but still a P4 is not bad at all. If he can clip another curb, and Sheepy Kev, the sheep shagger, puts himself in P1. Oh man, he must have shagged a couple of sheeps on their way. But Benzilla, is he going to be up on his time? Doesn't look like it. It's going to be a 1/10 slower, as that will put him in P4. The only guy who's going to be able to improve is Youngie right now, and maybe Chef Badger, who's currently in P15. And he's also currently in the wall. I think he puts a little bit too much pressure on his throttle there, because he was down on his time, but only by 2/10. So if he would have pressured a little bit more coming out of that last corner, he might have been able to improve. But he's just going to come across the line right now to put himself in P15, and that is going to be your qualifying over. Youngie still has to come into the pits right now. His car is going to be towed into the pit lane, into the pit box, I should say, as the Red Bull team has put themselves in P3 and P6. Not a bad result. I think that is the best result overall by the team. Maybe Alpine was a little bit better point-wise. But as we can see on screen right now, Vindog is going to put himself in P9. And you guys cannot see me again. I don't know what this is. That's better. Maybe even a little bit more. There we go. Yo Yona is a Apex Joe. All right, Joe. Thanks for letting me know. Yo Jonas. All right, so let's have a quick look here with the standings, the results. Sheepy Kev, the Sheepshagger, put himself in P1. Brad Races in P2 and Tina Steak in P3. Benzilla in P4 and Kyle Bradbury in P5. Further, we've got Youngie, Hammer, Bobinator, Vindog, Widget, Foxy, Tomo, Matko, Joby, Jeff, Badger, Apex Joe, Thatchers, Oranje Bone Brown, Tofi, and then Andy in P20. So congratulations to all those guys who have made it across the line. And hopefully you're satisfied with your qualifying position. Yo Charlie, how are you doing, buddy? Love, hearts back to you. Hearts back to you. Hope everyone is having a fine evening tonight. I'm just gonna take a tissue real quick to blow my nose, because otherwise I'm gonna be talking very nasally the whole stream, and that's obviously not something we would love to see. Now, guys, I would like to make a little request. If you guys haven't followed my Twitch channel yet, it's probably somewhere in my bio here on YouTube. Please do so. I'm gonna be starting to stream regularly when I'm back in Belgium. Currently I'm in Dublin for another month and a half, but I will be streaming F1 content. I will be streaming some Fortnite. I will be streaming some Rocket League, and you guys can always play along. I'm gonna be organizing Formula 1 races and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to be able to blow my nose because we're already going underway. We've got 5 red lights here on Bahrain, and off we go. A very bad start from Sheepkever there. Sheepkever, Sheepshagger is what I should say. Kyle Bradbury already up in P2 as he throws it around the outside. The Red Bull driver tries to take him out, though. That was very risky there. As Sheepy Kev, currently in P5, got overtaken by 4 people right there. Apex Joe disqualified from the session already. What a bad start from the Alfa Romeo driver, as Yo Jonas is already Yo in the pit box. Apex Joe disqualified from the session right there. We've got a very heated battle between Sheepy Kev and Benzilla right there. Sheepy Kev right on the tail of the Mercedes driver. Oh, and Benzilla goes a little bit too wide, but it doesn't look like it's affected his pace too much. Sheepy Kev with a good exit, as it's going to be around the outside into turn 7 and turn 8. Is he going to be able to make that move? Doesn't look like it. He's keeping the car alongside the Mercedes driver, but it's not going to work. What a beautiful switchback there from the Sheepshagger. And what a move he has made. Benzilla is still along the outside, but the dog is in his cage. That's referring to sheeps, and you know, sheeps, the dog is used to tame sheeps. Yeah, that's an inside joke right there. That's Vindog currently right behind Youngie. So you might want to have a quick look with the position changes here. Hammer dropped position there. Sheepy Kev dropped 3 and Benzilla dropped 1, 2. The big loser of the evening is going to be Bobinator, who probably got caught in an incident in turn 1 right there, as we saw a little bit of chaos coming into turn 1. As I said during... Oh, and Oranje Bone Brown already left the session. That is very frustrating. I'm just going to have a quick look if he need an invite back. Tomo is going to get past his teammate, and Foxy makes that move. We're looking at a Red Bull trying to make a move down the inside of the Mercedes driver right there, but he's getting attacked from behind. There goes Vindog making a move on Youngie. And now Hammer is trying to get involved. Makes that move on the Red Bull. Is going to go down the inside. He's probably going to throw it down the inside. Vindog defends the inside line, as he's kind of defending the middle there. Beautiful move from Hammer. And he's going to be around the outside, but he backs out of it into the S's right now. A little bit of an awkward line there from Vindog. Can he make that switchback where it doesn't look like it? Hammer is not going to make the switchback. And the Alfa Romeo driver, Chef Badger, currently crashed out in Sector 1 right there. And what a beautiful move there. Well, a beautiful try from Hammer. He did make that move on Youngie, though, as Sheepy Kev is right on the tail of Tenastic right now. And can the Sheepshagger make another victim here? Another sheep in his way. And is he going to shag him? That's a good question. Right down the tail of the Red Bull driver into this fast right-hander. And he's not able to make a move. And maybe with the slipstream, he's going to have the DRS down the second main straight in lap 3. Kyle Bradbury trying to make a move down the inside of Brad Races, but Brad Races just has a little bit too much straight line speed. Sheepy Kev make that move. Down the inside he goes. And Tenastic backs out of the move. He's not going to have the DRS yet. So this might have not been very, very smart by Sheepy Kev right there. Kyle Bradbury with the fastest lap. And is he going to be able to make that move? He's down the inside right now. He's throwing his car down the inside and he makes that move up into P1. As Brad Races has to back out of the move. He has to yield, but he's going to have the DRS right now. Let's have a quick look if he's going to be able to make that move into turn 4 right now. He's got a lot of straight line speed, and that's an easy move for the Alpine driver. Is Kyle Bradbury going to back out of it? Doesn't look like it. He's keeping it around the outside. Beautiful defense by the AlphaTauri driver right now. And that is going to be Kyle Bradbury still in P1. Sheepy Kev kept the position from Tenastic as he dropped 8/10 to the Haas driver right now. Sheepy Kev with a good push. Oh, having a little bit of a slipstream right there. As he is back 9/10 behind Brad Races. So he needs to make a comeback race working here. As he needs to close down that gap immediately. Because otherwise he's going to be struggling with the DRS right behind. Tenastic, who's having the DRS right now. There's actually 3 DRS zones here in Bahrain. Which is going to be the long main straight coming out of the last turn. Then you've got another main straight coming out of turn 3. It's my apologies, guys. It's the ham. Oh, there goes Matko. He got pushed wide by Thatchers. A little bit of a tap on the rear, and that made him go off track there. Hammer making a move on Vindok, it seems like, with the use of DRS. No, they don't have a DRS there, so it's gonna be Vindok with the DRS there, if I'm not mistaken. But it doesn't have any ERS left. He's gonna have the DRS though. That's going to be moved on. Youngie, can he benefit from this? Kyle and Brad races down the inside. He goes. Kyle Bradbury trying to make that move again, and he does. I think this was a little bit of a strategical play by Brad Races, but he didn't catch the DRS there. So it's going to be Kyle Bradbury with the DRS, and he's keeping P1 right now. So you might want to go on board with Hammer here, who's right on the tail, and a beautiful switchback there. Makes that move on Vindok, although they're side by side of each other. Vindok still keeping that position from the Aston Martin driver right now. Into the S's, into Sector 2 they go. Into that slow right-hander right now, into turns 7 and 8. As it is going to be Hammer around the outside. He's not going to be able to make that move though. Up in P7, he did keep a couple of positions as he dropped a couple, but he regained them again. And having a little bit of a slipstream. Foxy losing the toe off the Williams driver. He's going to let Widget go through right now, it seems like. And he wants to get that slipstream once again. The guys in the top 7 are not within a DRS. Well, they are. Actually, the top 3 are. Sheepy Kev has caught up to the top 2 right now, so it's going to be a spectacular fight there in the top 3. And Tenastic also in DRS detection points. So let's have a quick look if he's going to be able to keep up with the guys in the top 3. Because we know these guys are very, very fast. Kyle Bradbury, probably the biggest winner of the evening. Andy also, as he's having a very heated battle with Tofi right now. Is Brad Race is going to be able to make that move? He's going to wait for that second DRS straight though, as that is where you need to make that move into turn 4, down the inside or around the outside. Depends on how your setup works right there. So let's have a quick look if Brad Races is going to be able to make that move. He's going to back out of it. He was not alongside the AlphaTauri driver. Now having a better exit, it seems like. Into the S's they go. Into Sector 2. Clipping a little bit of the curb down the inside there. That's how it should be done by the Alpine driver, as we've got Sheepy Kevin P3 right now, right down the tail. Benzilla with the first penalty. No, the second penalty, as Hammer had the first penalty right there. He's currently in P7, Benzilla in P5, but they're going to be dropping a tremendous amount of positions due to that penalty. Seems like Hammer is going to be dropping 3 or 4. Depends on whether Foxy is going to be able to keep up. Having a good exit out of turn 8. 9 actually, that is. Hammer still on the tail of Vindok. He's able to keep up, but Vindok doesn't have any ERS left, so he's not very well managing his ERS right now. Let's have a quick look at Brad Races here. Right down the tail of Kyle Bradbury. 3/10 for the Alpine driver, and he's gonna have the DRS, so maybe he should make that overtake down the first main straight and keep that guy behind him down the second main straight, because it didn't work previously, and it doesn't look like he had a great exit coming out of that last corner there. He's going to have the slipstream, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He does have good straight line speed. And yes, indeed, is he going for it? He is going for it. Here he comes into turn 1. Apex Joe has left the session, unfortunately. And Kyle Bradbury is not able to keep the position. It seems like, having a little bit of a slap there. And Shipikev makes up P2. Kyle Bradbury might report the Alpine driver for that incident, because there was a little bit of wheel banging between the two, but I wouldn't say that caused the incident to happen. And now Tina Stick right behind Kyle Bradbury. And is he the one to get to recapture the top 3 here? As he dropped the position, it says. Well, it says that he kept the position, but he still lost the position. I don't know. It's Formula 1, it's Codemasters, or EA, or whoever made this game. The Nastic 410s right now. Kyle Bradbury is not going to have the DRS, so this might be the opportunity for Nastic to make that move. He's going to have the DRS. He's having a little bit of slipstream, but he's not using it. How much ERS does Kyle have? He still has more than 50%. And Shipikev is the one to look at. Currently down at this fast right-hander. Into sector 3 they go. And he's going to have a little bit of slipstream down the main straight. And he's going to have more slipstream and DRS into the start-finish straight, of course. Let's have a quick look if he's going to be able to get a little bit closer here. And yes, indeed he does. He is within 210, so he's going to be able to make that move down the main straight. And it seems like Chef Badger has lost another position. Now 1-2 Thatchers. Here comes Shipikev with the use of the ERS down the inside. He doesn't have any ERS left, as I don't think it was very smart to use all of his ERS down the main straight right there. Not good management of the ERS. And now Brad Races is trying to make a switchback work. It's not working. But he's going to have the DRS, so possibly with a good exit out of turn 3, he might be able to make that move work. Although Shipikev has some beautiful straight line speed, though, that might have been a setup issue for Brad Races here. As we are looking at Tenastic not able to keep up the toe of Kyle Bradbury, and we might want to go on board with someone else here, as we've been looking at these guys for a couple of minutes already. Youngie, who's making a move on Tomo. And I'm pretty sure these guys know each other, so there's a chance he let him go through. Brad Races crashed. Now that we didn't look at that incident, we're not capturing it. Oh, and he loses a position, another position to Hammer, but he might be able to keep that, well, to get that position back, because Hammer has got that 3-second time penalty, though. So does Benzilla, so if he's able to keep up with Benzilla here, he's going down the inside and he makes up that position. But they're going side by side into turn 10 they go. Hammer keeps the position though. 2 10s, 3 10s for Brad Racing. And I want to have a quick look with the tires here. A lot of different tire strategies. A lot of guys started on the mediums. Vindok is the only one in the top 12 on the hards. And we've got Bobinator, Tofi, and Andy all on the hard tires. Matko now making a move on Andy as they're going side by side. It seems like into turn 10 and 11 they go. Matko has to back out. A beautiful defense there from the McLaren driver. So might want to go back to the Nastic. Someone crashed. Oh, that was the Alfa Romeo. Never mind. Thought it was someone in the top 10 there. Oh, and Chef Badger DNF'd on track there. That is not allowed, if I'm not mistaken. Brad Race is still on the tail of Hammer here. He actually doesn't need to push too much, because if he's going to push, he's going to be battling. And if he's going to be battling, he's going to be losing time. So all he can do right now is just stick on the tail of the Aston Martin driver and hope that he's going to have the pace. Because he's going to get that position anyway. If he doesn't catch a penalty anymore, though. Youngie on the tail of Vindok. It should be, for now, it should be easy for Youngie to make that move. But later during this stint stage, I think it's going to be better if Vindok is going to keep this position, because the hard tires are going to be better at the end of the race. Well, at the end of their stint compared to the medium. So Youngie should make this move happen as soon as possible, because it's going to be harder to overtake Vindok. The later we're going into the deeper we're going into this race. Toma now putting the pressure on the shoulders of the Red Bull driver. Andy with a 3-second time penalty. That is only going to be the third penalty of the night. As the Williams driver taking a lot of curb on the exit there. He's going to have the slipstream though, but so is Youngie. Down the main straight right now. A bad exit from Tomo there. Loses a couple of tenths. And Youngie has the DRS. Youngie has the slipstream. Vindok has neither of them. And up ahead, we are looking at Brad Races making a move on Hammer down the inside. Youngie recaptures P7. Hammer loses a position to Brad Races. And it is now going to be Vindog trying to defend from Tomo behind. I think it's going to be too difficult for him to make that move again on Youngie. And now let's have a quick look with Tomo here. Dynamite straight. Vindog, who doesn't have any ERS left. That was probably not a very smart move there from Tomo. Tried to make a dive bomb, but kind of didn't see any room into turn 4. And Ferrari driver closed down the gap there. There was a little bit of room, but I think he went into it too late there. Or he should have braked a little bit later. Does he have front wing damage though? It seems like he went a little bit too deep into that corner. Had a little bit of understeer. We might want to go back to the top 3 here as Tenastic is right behind Kyle Bradbury. Sheepy Kev with some great pace. Has a 2-second gap to Kyle Bradbury already. And as I said earlier, it's going to be 29 laps here tonight. We're currently already in lap 9. We're heading into lap 10 as this race is flying past. Faster than these guys are racing right now. Hammer in P6, right behind Brad Races. And I feel like we're going to be seeing some spectacular battling from these two all night long. They've been battling last race in Imola too. As we've got Thatchers retiring, but I don't think that was on track, was it? Oranje Boom, who was still in the session, but he left the session. Widget, I'm just gonna ask if he wants an invite back. Kind of forgot about that. I'm not too sure if he wants one. Oh no, I don't think he needs Alright, here we go. We got Tomo having a heated battle with Vindog. Fun fact, Hammer RG and Kyle Bradbury are brothers. Oh, makes sense right now. Oh, is Hammer an English driver? Is he, Sean? I don't know. He didn't give me the information. Isn't Kyle like 40 years old? I always thought he was very, very old, isn't he? I mean, usually when you hear the name Kyle, it's not like it's an old driver, but just gonna blow my nose here real quick, guys. I will be right back. Right, makes sense. Thank you very much, Sean. So Sheepy Kev, the Sheep Shagger, still having a 2-second gap to Kyle Bradbury. Kyle is 15 and Hammer is 13. I am super confused right now because I thought Kyle was an adult. Alright, makes sense. I'm always super confused with ages and stuff. Vindog tried to make a move though. Hard tires. It's not enough. And I really wonder when these medium tires are going to drop off, because it doesn't look like they're dropping off yet, though. Hammer right now 5/10s behind Brad Races. And it doesn't look like Brad Races is able to keep, well, to create some kind of distance. What is a woven? Woven. What is a woven, Sean? What is a woven? 6/10s for Vindog. I feel like it's some kind of cross point right now between the hards and the mediums. I feel like it's this kind of turning point where the hards are getting faster than the mediums. Lap 12, we're heading into lap 13. I'm going to get off and do some work now, but I'll watch the stream again during the night. That's alright, Sean. Thank you very much for watching anyway. I hope you're going to be having a good shift. Good luck making some, what was it again? Popsicle, what was it again? Fizzy Pop. There we go. Good luck making some Fizzy Pops. Oh, and Youngie having a bad exit out of turn 1, it looks like, as Tomo has caught up to the Red Bull driver right now. Oh, and Hammer making a move on Brad Races. There they go, side by side. Hammer Races taking a lot of curb down the inside, though. Oh, he's gonna have a dive bomb, but he's opting to back out of it. Brad Races still defending from Hammer RJB right now, as Hammer does have that penalty, though. Let's go back to Vindok. Being able to keep up with Tomo and Youngie is a big accomplishment in my opinion, because Tomo is currently P5 or P6 or P7 or P8. He's P8 in the driver's standings. And you've got Youngie being in P10 if I'm not mistaken. So he's definitely battling the big boys here, as they've caught up to Oranjeboom, who's currently in P17. He's not going to be finishing the race, as Tomo now makes the move on Youngie around the outside down this long right-hander. As I said previously, very hard to keep your car right there, as there's a little bit of glitching from my PlayStation. My apologies. And the first driver is coming into the pits. Sheepy Calf coming into the pits to kind of, you know, work with the undercut. Because if someone was going to be coming into the pits right behind him, if for example Kyle Bradbury would have been able to make that pit stop before Sheepy Calf, I think Sheepy Calf would have been able to, well, I think Kyle Bradbury would have been able to overtake Sheepy Calf there, as it is going to be the Williams driver braking very, very late to defend from the Red Bull driver. Oh, and Youngie loses another position. What a beautiful move there from Vindok. Around the outside, he's going to have the DRS, and the Red Bull doesn't have the DRS. Vindok recaptures P5 right now. A couple of guys have dropped some positions, but obviously they have come into the pits. Benzilla drops back to P12. Sheepy Calf drops back to P9, and he's going to be stuck behind the Widget. Brad Races drops back to P13 as he makes that overtake on Tofi right now. Both drivers running different strategies here, and I think Benzilla is going to be very hard. Well, he's going to be struggling with Abominator right in front of him. Abominator only 17 years old right now, but he's definitely got the pace in his car. I remember the good old days where I was 17 and I had a lot of pace. Now I'm 20 and I don't have any pace at all anymore. So the guys who are currently watching who are 13, 15, 17, 18, all below the 20s, there's going to be a day where your pace is going to be slower, and that is around the 20s, guys. Benzilla with a good exit. He's having the DRS, and he's making that move. Abominator is letting him go through, and he's probably going to let his teammate go through. Sheepy Calf DNFs from the race. There goes Sheepy Calf, and this is possibly a very big upset in the Drivers' Championship. As we can see, Sheepy Calf currently in P1. We've got Galdi in P2, but he's not in the race. And then we've got Brad Races in P3. Brad Races is looking at the Drivers' Championship here tonight. And is he going to be able to do so? A lot of guys are coming into the pits. And this is some great strategies from Kyle Bradbury, Tina Stick, Hammer, Tomo, Vindok. They're all coming into the pits. Vindok possibly has to go onto the mediums. Yes, indeed he does. And all the other guys are going to go onto the hards. It's only a virtual safety car, though. It's only a virtual safety car. Of Abominator coming into the pits. Where's Brad Races going to end up in? P6. He's got a lot of guys in front of him. And this is definitely not something he would have loved to see. Sheepy Calf, what a way to DNF. What a way to throw away your Drivers' Championship here. He's not going to score a single point. Oh, we were racing again. Sorry, guys. I was looking at the entry real quick. Brad Race is still right behind Hammer, and he was in front of Hammer at some point during this race. Currently, he's right behind him again. But he's definitely going to be scoring a lot of points. I think the winner scores 35 points, if I'm not mistaken. Brad Races throws it down the inside into turn 10 there. Hammer is trying to make the switchback work, but it's not working. Brad Race is still in P5. And can he keep the Aston Martin right behind him? It does look like it. Hammer is going to have the DRS, though. Is it going to be enough for Hammer? He's got the DRS, he's got the ERS, but he's got that penalty too. I don't think it will be enough for the Aston Martin driver. Backs out of it. But he's going to have another DRS opportunity. Dynamite straight here. And then, of course, another one. coming out of turn 3. Widget coming into the pits. He should have come into the pits earlier this race, but he decided not to. There goes Hammer. And now Brad Races another opportunity with the DRS around the outside. He goes. Tries to go for a very wide line. I think he might have been pushed wide there by the Aston Martin driver. Is he going to have the ERS though? The DRS, I mean, my apologies. 8 tenths behind. He's able to crawl back a little bit closer. Bobinator currently in P11, so you might want to have a quick look with the position changes here. 12 positions gained for Tofi. As he said, he was going to be dead last this race. He's currently in P7 with a very good option for points. And that is going to be great for the Aston Martin driver. So you might want to have a quick look with Matko here. Right behind Joby. As he hasn't had the race of his life. Currently in P7 or P6 in the Drivers' Championship. And I'm really wondering, how are you able to keep P6 or P7 in the Drivers' Championship by finishing in the top 15 every race? He's coming down the inside. Joby is defending around the outside. Matko not really having the pace here tonight in Bahrain. So you might want to go on board with Tofi again. He's just been overtaken by Youngie as he drops another position, but it's a long way before Vindog is going to be able to make that move on the Aston Martin driver. Kyle Bradbury with the fastest lap of 133.2. Not the fastest one I've seen here in Bahrain yet. Brad Races right behind the Aston Martin driver. Hammer, who had a little bit of a snap there. Brad Races is going to be able to make that move. But is he going to be able to? A fastest lap for Hammer right now, 132.8 on the hard tires. There comes Brad Races down the inside. And he makes that move on the Aston Martin driver. Hammer tries to fight back, but the option is not there. The opportunity is not there, as he didn't have a good exit coming out of turn 1. He does have the DRS right now. I think Brad Races has to defend the inside line, but he's not going for it. Hammer wasn't close enough to make that move or make that dive bomb down the inside there. Now Brad Races up for a good position. The other guys all in front of him have got a penalty, but I think he's a little bit too far away from Tenastic to make that overtake with the penalties. He's gonna get that overtake from Benzilla and Hammer anyway with the penalties. Well, that position. Not the overtake, but the position. Hammer having an awkward line through there. Having a little bit of a bad exit. He's going to have the DRS though. Is he going to throw it down the inside? It does look like it. Into turn 10. He goes. And he makes the move. Brad Races isn't going to be keeping the position. Doesn't look like it. He backs out of it. As he chooses a tight line. Which is always a little bit risky through there. Takes a lot of grip on the exit there. Beautiful line there from these two. And as I said, they've been battling all race. And they're going to be battling for another 13 more laps here in Bahrain tonight. Kyle Bradbury with the fastest lap. And the pole and the P1. Not the pole, that was Sheepy Kev, the Sheep Shagger. But Kyle Bradbury now with the fastest lap and the race lead. He's gained 4 positions, qualified in P5. Not a bad result at all. Here comes Brad Racing once again. As he backs out of it, he's going to have the DRS. Coming out of turn 3, he wants to take a wide line to have a better exit into turn 1. Into turn 2 he goes. Has a little bit of a snap, and I don't think he's going to have the opportunity to make that overtake. And what he should do is just keep it behind the Aston Martin driver for 12 more laps. And then in that 13th lap, in the 29th lap, he should be able to make that move down the main straight and keep the guy behind him. Andy with a 3-second time penalty, as it is going to be Widget coming into the pits once again. Brad Races lost 3 positions though, so he didn't have a great race start there, but neither did Sheepy Kev. And I think he's just lost a lot of positions due to his strategy here, as he didn't come into the pits when the safety car was there. I think he came into the pits a lap early. He's currently 3 positions down on his qualifying time and qualifying position, I should say. Hammer Racing is slowly closing down the gap to Benzilla, but Benzilla is definitely not closing down the gap to Tenastic. Sheepshagger, yes indeed, Oranje Boom. Do you need an invite back into the lobby or not really? I mean, you're 1 minute and 19 seconds behind, so it's not really worth it, is it? All the guys behind these two are more than 1 second outside of each other. Matko is the only one who's within 1 second. He's just crawled into the second, so we might want to have a quick look with him, as he probably has the pace to keep Widget behind him. Now Brad Races makes that move into turn 1 on Hammer. Beautifully done by the Alpine driver. Tofi comes into the pits. Matko is pretty close at the moment. Where is he? Oh, he's going to be able to use the DRS, so let's have a quick onboard view with the AlphaTauri driver. And they're also closing out the gap on Widget and Joby though, so that is great. Dofi, is he going to be losing another position to these guys ahead? Ah, that's unfortunate. What on you? Matko. Straight line speed he had, but not enough to make that move. Let's go back to Hammer here. And I'm not too sure what about Tomo, but he might be able to crowd a little bit closer to Hammer and Brad Races. We might want to have a quick look with the penalties also, as Tomo seems to have 5 seconds, so Youngie is going to make that move, and even Vindok can make that move on the Williams driver right now. Let's have a quick look with Hammer here. Down the main straight he comes. 3/10s for the Aston Martin driver. He's not going to have the ERS yet, but he's going to have the ERS later during this lap. Down the main straight he comes. Having a good exit out of that last section is crucial. And what is his time going to be? A good lap by the Aston Martin driver right now. And he's going to be able to make that move with the use of DRS. That is going to be a move into turn 1. Beautifully done there by Hammer, who does have that 3-second time penalty. So if at some point he can get that 3 seconds removed, he's going to get a P4 or even a P3 if Benzilla is keeping the 3 seconds. But at this point, I don't think he will be able to, because, you know, even if you get a warning removed, you still have the other warnings which you have to cope with. If you got any, you know, if you get 4 warnings and you get 1 removed, you still have 3 seconds. Matko dropped back 1.8 seconds, but I think it's because he saw that Widget has a 5-second time penalty, and that 5-second time penalty is not easy to get removed. And usually, we've seen a safety car, and we've seen a lot of guys come into the pits already, so usually that 5 second is for speeding in the pit lane, and a speeding in the pit lane penalty is very difficult to remove. Brad Races was taking a look down the inside there, but he backed out of it right now, and Kyle Bradbury is getting chased from behind. Dynastic closing down that gap, but he's got that 5-second time penalty though. Still 10 more laps to go here in Bahrain. We've got the Formula 1 Racing League Division 2. We're currently in Season 2 out of this Division 2. And we're morphing, is that a word? We're going back to one division next season, due to Div 1 not having a complete grid every week. So we will be racing one division, which is, in my opinion, not a bad decision, but not a great decision either. It has some pros, it has some contras, and Sean knows my opinion about it, as I spoke a little bit, speaking message about it. I hope he heard it. I don't think he did, because he never replied on it, but yeah. Brad Races right now, right behind Hammer, as the Alpine driver is trying to close down that gap. 9 more laps to go after this one. And it seems like Youngie, my son's taking all the internet. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Oh man. Tell him to. How old is he? I need to know how old the oldest is first before I can make my joke. I was gonna say something, but if he's like 5 or something, my joke is totally inappropriate. Brad Race is still right behind Hammer, as this is just gonna be up and back and forward racing. They're just making a move down the main straight, then making it back down the other main straight, and all that kind of stuff. It seems like Youngie is keeping up with the other Williams driver right now, and Widget dropped back to P12 right now. Both the McLaren drivers haven't been doing great, and neither have the Alfa Romeo drivers, neither have the Ferrari drivers, although I do have to say Vindok has been putting a pretty good performance here. He started on the hard tires, kept up with Youngie, who was on medium tires, but now kind of dropping the pace. He is on the medium tires, and he will be on 16-lap-old medium tires at the end of this race, which is hard to cope with, of course, in Bahrain. Now let's have a quick look with Youngie here. 210s. He's going to be able to make that move down the inside of Tomo, and he makes the move, and is Tomo going to keep the position? He's around the outside. 10, 9, 2, and 8. There's 4 on the Jäger. I'm not going to make my joke in that case. Never mind. I'm not making my joke. simply because it would be a little bit weird. Yeah, never mind. I didn't make the joke. So let's go on board again with, let's have a quick look. Matko maybe? And Joby Rennie. I know Oranje Boom Brown is looking, and Joby is a buddy of him. So we might want to have a quick look here with Matko, who simply doesn't have the pace here tonight in Bahrain. Neither has Joby, actually. I mean, he had a pretty disappointing qualifying, and currently in P13. Not a great result either, but he's able to keep up with Widget. Possibly he gets another position due to that 5 seconds of Widget. But he needs to make sure that he keeps Matko behind him. And to do that, he needs to make sure he's within the DRS second off a Widget here, which he's able to do so right now. And is he going to be able to? Doesn't look like it. All right, Joby, Oranje Boom Brown. In my time, when people said they had bad Wi-Fi, they were blaming it on their brothers or whatever, downloading illegal stuff. Nudity images. So I was gonna make a joke saying that you can't allow your sons to download nudity images, but yeah, they're 10, so that doesn't really make sense. Tomo right now. Oh, there goes Youngie! There goes Youngie! He is in the gravel, and he's getting an overtake from Vindok and Tomo, if I'm not mistaken. Did any contact happen between Youngie and Tomo there? Or was it with Hammer? No, it wasn't with Hammer. It was definitely with Tomo, as both drivers had a very heated battle right now. Brad Race is caught up to Benzilla. That was an easy catch up there for the Alpine driver, as he kind of created a gap between himself and Hammer there. And maybe he's going to be able to keep up with Tenastic here. If he's able to catch up to Tenastic within 5 seconds, he might be able to get a top 2 position here, because Tenastic has that 5-second time penalty. So he needs to gain another 5 more seconds, 6 actually, to be able to get into that top 2 position. But we can definitely say that Kyle Bradbury currently has the race win provisionally, though. Maybe he catches another penalty or whatever, but you never know. Benzilla is able to keep up with Brad Races, and I think the Mercedes driver is going to keep it difficult for the Alpine driver right now. Oh, he's going to back out of it. Oh, and a little bit of I think that was a little bit of a brake shake there, if I'm not mistaken, by Brad Races. He went off throttle, and I don't think the Mercedes driver could have seen that coming. A little bit of a slip there from the Mercedes driver, and Brad Races now created a gap of 9.5 tenths here to the Mercedes driver. A little bit of mind games there from Brad Races. I think Benzilla is very frustrated by that. Yeah, not yet, bro. We are from don't take long for sex education to be taught. Totally get you, brother. Totally get you. Hammer is now right behind the Mercedes driver. I think in Belgium we get it taught in our fifth year, which is I think when we are 10 or 11. 10 or 11, I think, is when we get taught the magical stuff. Hammer right behind Benzilla. And it's gonna be a 3-way battle. And the thing is, these two are currently battling for the top 4 position. Brad Races is kind of dropping out because he doesn't have a penalty yet, though. But that could happen. That could happen. Hammer on the tail of Benzilla right now. Is he going to be able to make that move? Doesn't look like it. DRS wide open. Benzilla also has the DRS, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, indeed he does. 3-second time penalty for both of them. Who has the most DRS? It looks like that's going to be Hammer, but only with a couple of percentages. Hammer goes a little bit too deep there into turn 1. Still has a great recovery, though. Still right behind Hammer. But Hammer, still right behind Benzilla, but Hammer is going to be having the DRS. But so does Benzilla. And I think Brad Races is kind of playing the mind games here, giving the DRS to Benzilla so that Hammer cannot make the overtake. Brad Races is battling for that driver's championship right now, because if he's going to be scoring a good amount of points, he's going to be passing Shipikev and Geldy in the driver's standings. Let me do a quick calculation. If he has 176 points, and he's going to be scoring 15 tonight. He's going to be 8 points away from that Drivers' Championship. And he's going to be crawling closer, if I'm not mistaken. Brad Races is up for that championship battle. Championship, Drivers' Championship, you know, just a championship in general. He just needs to keep Sheepy Kev behind him. And what an unfortunate incident that was from Sheepy Kev, though. I think he just spun into the corner, into the wall, actually. 4 more laps to go. Kyle Bradbury is getting chased from behind. 2.2 seconds. Stanastic is catching up to the AlphaTauri driver. Let's have a quick look if Hammer is going to be able to make that move. A lot of dust here in Bahrain. It's never going to be raining here, but it is definitely going to be a lot of dust. And it seems like Benzilla making a move down the inside. Shoots a little bit too deep into that corner. And is that going to be front wing damage for Hammer? He went into the back of the Mercedes driver. He's going to have the DRS right now. And is that going to be moved on? He's going to throw it down the inside. I'm pretty sure it has a lot of straight line speed. And he makes that move. Makes the recovery after spinning, well, tapping the back of the Mercedes driver. And he's letting him go through. I think Sheepy Kev got clipped by another driver. Already seen the clip. Ah, all right. I didn't know. I didn't know that. My apologies. And a little bit of wheel banging here between Hammer and Benzilla. And Benzilla trying to get that P4 position. He needs it. I mean, not for the Drivers' Championship, because he's not really battling in the Drivers' Championship, but just to make a presence here with these other drivers, saying, hey, I'm here too, guys. I want to get that position too. I want to get those good points. He's going to be scoring 12 if he finishes in P4. He's going to be scoring 10 if he finishes in P5. Hammer is definitely battling for the Drivers' Championship. Currently in P4 and not too far away from Sheepy Kev and Geldy. Neither is he far away from Brad Races, but Brad Races is going to be scoring a couple of points more, and he gets another 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Currently has 19 seconds of penalties. Into lap 26 they go. Still 3 more laps to go after this one. And nobody behind is close to each other. Matko is kind of ghosting around that 1 second, but he's never able to keep up with a Joby there. I mean, not getting into that DRS second, but these guys definitely are. It's a little bit of a DRS train between 3 drivers, with Brad Races leading the pack to Stanastic, although 12 seconds. Stanastic definitely putting the pressure on the throttle right now, as it was 10 seconds earlier during this race. Matko is going to be pretty close to Joby. Let's go on board with him, as he's possibly going to be able to make that move. Down the main straight he comes. Joby defending the inside line. Matko trying to go around the outside. Here he comes. He backs out of it. Joby going a little bit too deep, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, indeed he does. He doesn't clip the inside. Oh, and Matko with a slip. And he's going to be losing another couple of tenths, and I think that is the problem with Matko. Sometimes he makes a mistake as he feels the pressure on the shoulders. And that is going to be Joby with a couple of tenths ahead right now, as he goes way too deep there. Matko possibly has a broken front wing, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go on board with Hammer again. Into lap 27 they go. Into lap 28, I should say. No, 27. My apologies. Kyle already came across the finish line. Into lap 27. Who is going to be getting the top 4 position? Is it going to be Hammer or is it going to be Benzilla? Right now, Hammer trying to make the overtake on Brad Races, but it's not as easy as it looks here in Bahrain. And probably one of the most beautiful tracks on the calendar to have racing on and to do the commentary on. And it's always so close with each other. And usually when the grid is very competitive and there's no safety cars or anything, we are seeing a very, very close grid. Very close battles with DRS, 7, 8, 9 people within DRS of each other. And I'm kind of missing that today, but no one to be blamed for that, because, you know, we had a safety car, we had some incidents, we had a very chaotic turn 1. That's spreading out the grid a little bit here. But we have had a beautiful battle between Hammer, Benzilla, Brad Races, Tomo, Youngie, all those guys. Vindog, who had a beautiful battle with Youngie at some point during this race. As you're heading into lap 28 out of the 29, still 2 more laps to go. Kyle Bradbury is almost secured off that P1 position here. Only if Tenastic is not going to be able to catch up and get that 5-second time penalty removed. Into the last corner they go. Hammer with a little bit of a slip through that corner. He's going to have the DRS, and it's possibly going to be a move. And you know what I think? I think Brad Races needs to keep Hammer behind him as much as possible and let Benzilla go through. I think that might be some strategical plays here, because if Hammer is going to be in front of Benzilla, he's going to be dropping a position though. Benzilla is 2. Brad Races gets that P3 anyway. But I think if Hammer is going to be behind Benzilla, he's not going to be scoring as many points, and Brad Races at some point in the Drivers' Championship is battling with Hammer here, only a couple of points away, as you can see on the right side of your screen. Right above me here, as you can see. Well, above the constructors, of course. And now we've got Brad Races trying to make that overtake on Hammer again. Last lap of the race in a couple of corners, heading into turn 9 right now. And as we can see, a lot of guys struggling through turn 9 there. Having a too oversteery setup there. And that's never what you want to wish here in Bahrain. You want a little bit of an understeery setup so that you can slide through the corners, slide through the curbs here. Look, everyone is going too much onto the curb. Well, too much, not really too much. You cannot go too much onto the curb into that section. But they're taking as much curb as possible. Now, Brad Race is kind of losing the toe of Hammer here, and I think it will be very difficult for the Alpine driver to make that move on the Aston Martin driver right now. And it would be very bad if Hammer can get that 3-second time penalty removed, because that means that Brad Race will somehow be in P4. But he's going to make that move into turn 1. Here he comes. Brad Races. He backs out of it, though. He wants to have that DRS. He doesn't have a lot of ERS left. Andy with another penalty. 17 seconds in total. And he does have a beautiful exit there. Beautiful move there from Brad Races down the main straight with the use of DRS and ERS. And he keeps the P3. And I don't think Hammer can get his 3-second time penalty removed, though. But now it's a matter of corners to see if Benzilla is going to be able to make that move on Hammer here. Let's go on board with the Mercedes driver. With a bad exit from the Aston Martin, I think it should be done. But is it going to be done? Oh, yeah. This is what I've expected from Brad Races. Kind of making some mistakes to slow down Hammer and make sure that Benzilla is going to be able to make that overtake on Hammer. Because those are 2 extra points that Brad Races wins on Hammer. And now I don't think it's going to be enough for Benzilla to make the move on Hammer. Had a little bit of a slap coming out of turn 10 if I'm not mistaken. Into the last corner they go. Down the main straight. He will have some ERS. He has a lot of ERS spare. What is Hammer doing? His fuel is empty. He doesn't have the fuel. Is Tomo going to be able to make the move on the Aston Martin driver? He doesn't have the fuel. Hammer has no fuel anymore, and he loses the position. And he loses the position to the Mercedes driver, but not to Tomo. So that is going to be P5 for Hammer. Not a good strategy by the Aston Martin driver. Vindog gets up in P6. A great race by the Ferrari driver right there. Great race, Tenastic. Well done, P2. Let me have a quick look with the position changes here. 4 positions gained for Kyle. 1 for Tenastic. 1 position dropped for Brad Races, but he had a good comeback race. 5 positions gained for Tomo and 8 positions gained for Tofino, so not a bad race at all. And he also a good recovery race after a very disappointing qualifying there. As we might want to go on board here with Joby Rennie coming across the last corner. And is he going to keep Matko behind him? Does look like it. Both drivers not having a single penalty. So that is going to be your result of tonight. As your driver of the day goes to... Well, in my opinion, In my opinion, I was gonna say this. In my opinion, it goes to Kyle Bradbury. He had a great race. Great, gained 4 positions, got the race win. Possibly has the fastest lap too, if I'm not mistaken. Let me have a quick look. Yes, indeed, it does. 132.3, not a bad result at all. Now let's go through the grid real quick, the standings, the results, all that kind of stuff. So Kyle in P1, Tenastic in P2, and Brad races in P3. That is going to be your podium for tonight. Further, we've got Benzilla, Hammer, Vindok, Tomo, Youngie, Bobinator, and Foxy in the top 10. And then we've got Tofi, Widget, Joby, Matko, Andy, Oranje, Sheepykev, Thatchers, and Chef Thatcher. And then, of course, Apex Joe, who got disqualified early in this race in the top 20. Now, these 5 have actually DNF'd on the return. Yes, sir, Kyle. Great race by you, buddy. Great race. Great race. I'm very proud of you. So, 5 drivers have got a DNF. Unfortunately, Andy has got a lot of penalties, 17 in total. So I'm not too sure what happened there. Probably not his track or his race. But we have got a good podium, in my opinion. One of the better podiums of this division. Kyle in P1, Tenastic in P2, and Brad races in P3. Very unfortunate crash there by Sheepykev, but nothing that can be done about that. Nice. Thank you, Joby. Really appreciate it, buddy. Hope you liked it. And guys, I'm going to be heading out for this race. It was enough. It was great. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. So I thank you very much for watching. I hope you're going to be rewatching the stream when you can. Just give me some remarks on what you think I could do better, layout wise, speaking wise, microphone wise, whatever. Just give me your opinions. Thank you, Sean. I really appreciate it. I mean, great race. It was a great race. Not, you didn't say great commentary, but I know what you mean. But yeah, I mean, just give me any recommendations if you have any. If you like the video, just give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it to put my video a little bit into the YouTube, algorithm. Hopefully that works. But guys, I thank you very much for watching. We had a great race. Kyle Bradbury takes P1. We had Tenastic in P2. After a disappointing 5-second time penalty, I think if he didn't have that 5-second time penalty, he should have been able to catch up to Kyle. I think he would have had a little bit more of the will to go to P1 again. But yeah, I mean, P2 is still great, and then a P3, of course, for Brad races. So, hear you soon. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Elias. Bud is, by the way, with a D, but it's okay. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. This was Phoebe Thomas as your commentator, and hopefully I was a little bit entertaining. So this was going to be around 9 of season 2 here in the Formula 1 Racing League. I thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. This was Phoebe Thomas, commentator. Peace out.